So now I'm going to tell the story of the Brinkmann BBQ. This is rusted nicely. That's been rusted. This has got a nice patina on it. Totally rusted out over here. That's rusty. And here is great. Come around back. Totally wrecked. All the rust. All the rust. All the rust. These wires sticking out were from a previous repair. And if I can find that video, I'll put the link in the description. So now I'm going to tell the story of this barbecue, but I'm going to do it inside using the webcam, because to stand out here with the wind and that, it's just going to knock out all the audio, and it's going to be a few minutes. So anyway, here's why I buy a cheap grill. So people have often ridiculed me for getting a cheap grill, and many a time people have said, why don't you put a cover on it? That would preserve it. It wouldn't rust as bad. It wouldn't this and that. Well, it so turns out that I had emailed Sharky626 the other day, and we were just talking about things. So I'm going to pull up the email now, and I'm going to read that to you, because it's a lot easier to do that than to reinvent the wheel and tell the story again, because pretty much what the email says is exactly what I wanted to say. So I'm going to be looking down for a moment while I do that. I said to Sharky, I said, tested the barbecue today, but didn't cook. It lit, sort of. Main burner has a hot spot. Flame is real big coming out in one place. Needs to be replaced. And of course, you're going to be seeing that a little bit later in this video. There's zillions of China companies making them, but they're all made to just slightly different lengths. The ones I needed were 9/16 shorter than the ones I originally found. There may or may not have been enough meat to chop off of it if I got the wrong ones. But I had to go and take it apart and measure the burner tube I have. If I get through the season, that will make this barbecue 7 years. And as bad as it is, and it's pretty bad, but as bad as it is, that Sears Kenmore I had before was practically on fucking life support at this point. Sharky says, when the day comes that the grill gets replaced, have you maybe considered getting a cover for it when you're not using it? I have a feeling you've been asked that before, but I can't recall. My brother and sister-in-law use one. Maybe it could help with longevity. And to that I said, grill cover is a no-go. When I got the Kenmore, that was my old barbecue, I quote-unquote did the right thing and got the cover from Sears for it. What a royal pain in the ass. Time to grill, so you carry shit out. Oh great, can't put it on the side, the cover's on. Forgot. Okay, take the cover off. Now that's got to go somewhere, so that takes up a chair somebody could be sitting on. Okay, grill. This is what happens when Jay barbecues. Done. Take the food off, shut off the grill, and eat. Well, look at that. It's still not cool enough to put the cover on. Well, that's got to wait. Then it rains. Now the cover is soaked inside and out. Give that 2 days to dry, then put it on. Hey, what do you want for dinner? Steak? And the process starts anew. Or cook, take the food off and eat. Wait for the grill to cool enough, put cover back on. Great, now it's protected and it will last uppity years. Nope, nobody cooks the way I do. Most other people see me cook and they're like, what the fuck? Then they eat and they're like, what the fuck? So if I make chicken with barbecue sauce on it, afterwards the grill is a fucking mess. You can brush it, you can burn it off, but no matter what you do, it's still there. Little morsels and molecules. And with the cover on, it intensifies the smells. Ants come by and say, hey you guys! Or better yet, spiders go up in there and build nests in the grill, in the gas jets and burner tubes. Did I ever tell you how many times I lit one of the burners on that grill and it burned my arm off? I started leaving the cover off because it was such a total pain in the ass. And suddenly, no ants. And no spiders. The cover went in the garbage. As far as it rusting, it was doing that when new, when I was using the cover for a couple years. 7 years is the magic number for the grill. Everybody says get a Weber. A Weber is 4 times the price. So if I buy a cheap shit grill and get 7 years, 7 times 4 is 28. And you're going to tell me that after 28 years of a Weber sitting outside, even with a cover, that there won't be any rust or discoloration and nothing will rot out at all? Nothing is going to break in 28 years and it will look showroom perfect? Hence, cheap grills, no cover. And let's see if he said anything else here. Not particularly. And I said, yeah, the cover was more trouble than it's worth. It's more of an Italian thing. Oh, it's on the cover. It's a grill and I paid too much for it. I command a large grill. That Kenmore was only a 3-burner model and it did the job, but again, a pain in the ass. So when I went for this one, Jay's Bar was still a weekly thing and everybody was coming over. I grew accustomed to the larger size and now won't have it any other way. Inside we find more rust. Lovely, lovely rust. You don't have to be concerned about rust on the grates. If you go to a park and they have those ones that you put the charcoal in, they are rusty, dusty, and nobody ever cleans them and nothing ever happens, so they just stay. And people have been eating off of them for years and years and nobody ever died. So the rust is okay. It's rusting really well because this stuff will flake off if you really give it, so it needs a good brushing with a wire brush, and I'm sure they're going to disintegrate probably by the end of this season. So now of course you want to see this thing fire up. So we'll try to fire just the center burner because that's all you need to see. And if you do see, I don't know if the camera can make it out because I can't see the screen and the way the sun is, but this heat tent is kind of like that because that's really the only place it's going to sit. Everything is just precariously in place, and you can see those wires in the back that are holding up the burner tubes. Let's see if it'll light. Maybe? Oh yeah. Ooh, you see the jet engine flame back there? Yep, this burner is bad. This burner is bad. So I need a replacement. This barbecue is supposed to have a lifetime warranty on the burners. Well, that warranty isn't any good if the company goes out of business. So there's nothing I can do except actually buy them. So I started searching, and apparently, yes, they do still make burners for this Brinkmann barbecue that is not sold anymore because the company is no longer in existence. But what you have to do is measure the existing ones. You can't go by part numbers because I did that. I have a whole parts listing of everything in this, and that made no difference. Instead, you have to actually measure the parts, and they were 15 and 5/16. I found others that were 15 and 7/8. Those aren't going to fit. They're too long. Although, in retrospect, maybe with the rust holes in the back, that might have been better, and I could just shoot them out there and that'll act as a new ledge. But anyway, we'll use the right stuff. So I got a set of 4 burners for $15 or something like that, something ridiculously stupid. So it was cheap, not a problem. I have a replacement sear burner, but I don't have any other replacement burners for this, and I swore up and down that I did, but they weren't in my pile of barbecue parts, so I don't know. So anyway, I'm waiting for those to come in. Hopefully they'll be here by the weekend or so, and maybe next week I'll actually cook and have real barbecue, so that would be really, really nice. So everything is just held together barely. Everything is just sort of on a wing and a prayer, if you will. And I'm perfectly okay with that, because this is now the 7th season that I'll have this barbecue. My first barbecue, Kenmore, lasted me 7 years, and in the 7th year it was really bad. But I made do, and then the next year I bought a new one. Is that going to happen this year? I don't know. I mean, I'm putting 15 bucks worth of burners in it. You know, grates I can also get. I didn't, search them, but they certainly exist, and they're, if you measure them and get the right size, they should be just fine. So it may stick around for even longer, as sad as it looks with all of the rust. As long as the burners kind of stay in place, yeah, it's serviceable enough. I'm willing to buy another barbecue, but not a Weber, as I had already discussed. So the next grill will be another grill of approximately the same size. The Kenmore was a 3-burner jobby, so it was maybe only up to here. And this extra real estate here really makes a huge difference when I cook stuff, because this way I can cook everything at once and take off stuff that's done before other things, and that's it. So the barbecue is going to live on for this season, and if it makes it through this one, I'll see how it looks next year, and if it's just too far gone, then I'll get another cheap barbecue that is roughly the same size. I don't have big parties like I used to, so I really don't need all of this real estate. But you know what? Now that I'm used to it, it's sort of like having a car with a 6-cylinder engine or an 8-cylinder engine instead of a little 4-banger. It's just a different animal entirely when you have all of this extra. If you don't need to use that, you leave the burner off and cook over here. This way it gives you the option. Just like a powerful engine, the horses are under the hood. They're ready to go. All you have to do is give it enough go command, and it does. So that's why I like a much larger grill. And as it turns out, the camera battery died, hence the cut in the video that was right there. And I said, well, as long as I have to review the footage that I already recorded so I know where to continue, let me look on Home Depot's website. So I did. And I found a Nex grill, not that I'm buying this year, but a Nex grill for maybe $369 or something like that, $349, whatever it was, of similar stature as this thing. And it's got an 8-year burner warranty, big whoop. But we'll see, If they stay in business, that'll even be great. I have a new side cover, but what's the point in putting it on? It's only going to get rusty anyway, There's like no real point in doing it. So it'll just stay as is until it pretty much, the Kenmore, the legs, which had a wheel at the bottom, had rusted out so bad that it was ready to topple over. That's how bad that thing was. So this is held up remarkably better. As much of a piece of crap as it is, it's held up remarkably better than that Kenmore did. So, can't say I didn't get my money's worth out of it. And Weber is certainly out of the question, as I discussed earlier. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.